Welcome to this brief presentation about pineapples. You may be wondering what pineapples have got to do with computers, and that's a good question. The main interest of TROM Computers is in making computer equipment freely available to people who find themselves disadvantaged when it comes to money. That applies to quite a few African communities, like in Uganda. While we were thinking about how to get computers packed up in batches for shipping off to Ginji and Uganda, it became really obvious that the same could be done in the opposite direction. Computer equipment that arrives in Uganda is available for free from the generosity of people who donate both cash and equipment to TROM Computers. But pineapples that arrive in the UK, after paying the farmer, we sell for a profit. So, for TROM Computers, this could be a good way to help fund the operation, while at the same time boosting the economy of the growers' local community. We plan to do this import process ethically, by the way, because even just a little bit of research into how pineapples reach the supermarket shelves shows the commercial practice to be questionable, to say the least. We're talking about edible crops that can't easily be grown in a UK climate, and specifically for this first batch we're focusing on pineapples. In fact, pineapples can be grown in the UK, but the risk of crop failure is very high. And in any case, pineapples grown here are likely to be much smaller and less juicy than the ones that you can get from places with climates like Uganda. We're at the very beginning of what you might call an import experiment to see if it can work the way we want it to work from the point of view of all-round satisfaction for everyone involved. And if this can work for pineapples, it can also work for other crops like avocados, ginger, black pepper and coffee. But for this first foray into shipping, our stake in the ground is a modest importation, where we're setting the retail price at £5 per pineapple, and we'll be importing a batch of around 250 of them in a manageable, roughly 1 metre cubed pallet. The way it's done now is definitely not in the farmer's best interests. The trick is to find out the minimum price that the farmer is willing to accept per pineapple, then to negotiate him down to the ground and buy all of his crop at that low price, and then do the smiling viper handshake and promise more business next year. Then to stock up on the supermarket shelves at a price that includes full retail margin, of course, but at super low price to the customer. Everyone happy except for the African farmer. We think there's a better way. Like the supermarket, we find out the minimum price that the farmer is willing to accept per pineapple. But we understand that the farmer is so used to being on the bad end of the deal that they just give rock bottom prices as standard. We take that as poverty level price, and we resolve to do better than that. We take an interest in the community, where the pineapples are coming from, how many work on the farm, who helps with the harvest, what amenities are there, how do they get water, is electricity continuous, what's the housing like, are the people happy? And then we find UK consumers who are prepared to pay a fair price for a delicious organic pineapple, and in doing so contribute through their purchases to the development of the communities where they come from. And a really good way to achieve that is by using the Big Barn online platform, where we can access 9,000 local independent UK outlets. Although our pineapples are far from not from around here, they're very responsibly sourced from sustainable farming practices. Back to the supermarkets. We're supposing, for argument's sake, a price per panel of 90, a price per pineapple of 90p, a low price that they negotiated the farmer down to, so the farmer gets 90 pence per pineapple. There are costs that have to be met in the shipping process. For the purpose of this illustration, we're supposing 80 pence per pineapple, including shipping, taxes, packing materials, and transportation to and from the airports. After the needed costs, the supermarket adds their profit margin, and here we're supposing £1.10. So the retailer, the pineapples cost £1.70. And adding the supermarket's profit margin, they go on the shelf at £2.80. The most important thing in this process for the supermarket business is the profit. Nothing else matters to them, and we don't like it. So we're going to compete. What we saw on the last slide was taking. We are implementing here a PHC sharing model. PHC means Project Health Control. People before profit, but we still all make money. Our starting point is the batch value with figures expressed per pineapple. Here, £5 to the consumer per pineapple. Just like the supermarket, here are needed costs, shipping, taxes, packaging, and transportation. Then what's left is what's shared. The share pot here works out as a £4.20 pot. The first of three categories of sharing is the farmer, who agrees a percentage that resolves to a sale price that he can be happy with. Here it's £1.60. That's from the farmer price. Next, the retailer's share. Again, he agrees a percentage that resolves to a buy price that gives him a return that he can be happy with. And here it's the same as the farmer, £1.60. That's to the that's to the retailer price. The participant share is what makes this sharing model really special. The participant share is the part of the process that recognizes the contributions of everyone who contributes to the shipping process. For this shipment, we've set the participant share at £1. We all record the hours that we spend on making the shipment work. All hours come to a total. Here it's £100 for easy maths. The total participant share amount is calculated from the share per pineapple times the number of pineapples. In this case, it's 256. Share per hour is recorded. Share per hour recorded is the share amount divided by the total hours, and here it's £2.56. Each participant then gets a proportion of the share according to how many hours they've recorded. We must not underestimate the feeling of self-esteem this will give each and every member of the team as they take their amount, even if it's quite small. But it can also be not so small, depending on the shipment. And as we progress, shipment after shipment, this share amount is an incentive for each and every person on the team to do their very best to make the shipment a resounding success. We're thinking of this as a 3-week period, at the end of which everyone gets paid. The first thing we need is a float, so that the needed costs can be brought throughout the process. TROM Computers is the provider and holder of the float, and then once we started, we pack the pallet and take the pallet to the port. And we're allowing allowing week 2 for the shipping of the pallet to the UK. And on arrival in the UK, we take the pallet to the retailer, and we reimburse the farmer, and we reimburse the participants. So what now? To make this happen, we need to be sure of our market. And this is where we make our appeal to the retailers in the Big Barn platform. We really don't want to spend much time and effort on marketing. We just want to be able to supply to retailers from the Big Barn platform. As we progress, we'll be supplying a range of exotic produce to whatever demand exists here in the UK. And there will be an order form somewhere with a product range. But first step here is simply to take orders for the £3.40 pineapple, as many as we can. Just send an email with your order, and we'll keep you on our list of demand, and who knows, maybe the first batch of 256 will be followed very closely by a series of much larger batches. We can hope. Thanks for taking a look at this.